Hello, good day everyone.
Hello, good day.
Hi.
Hi, I am Anagha Joshi. Today I am going to review topics from week 1 to week 7. The topics covered like syntax, query, then subquery, grouping data, modifying data, then transactions, creating databases. So let's see how many we can cover today. So let me share my screen. Hello, is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Yes. So for the MySQL for databases, MySQL is a relational database management system where database is a structured collection of data which includes number of tables. These tables stores different type of data in a form of rows and columns. We call it as a information. Then to access those data, we use structure SQL, that is structured query language. We can use queries to select, like to search, to update, or to delete a record. If we want to modify it, we can use those queries. So let's start with some queries. Here you can see all these database. So let's use Sakila for this demonstration. Sakila. So what we are going to do, we are going to see some basic queries like while filtering the data. So let's look at how many tables it has. So for that, when we execute this, okay, this is the list of table this Sakila database is having. So let's check. I will comment this out with single line comment, and let's select one of the table. I want to see what is there. Star shows that I am fetching all the record from that table actor. So let's execute this. So this actor table contains actor ID, first name, last name. These are all columns and these are column headings. And this is row. One row contains all information in each column. All data in each column. That means it is a information. So now what we are going to do, let's filter this again. So I want to filter it according, or let's check other table. Maybe let's check customer table. What it has. Okay, there are all these columns. So I want to filter it with store ID, where store ID is equals to 1. So you can see I am getting the record with store ID 1. So it has all rows. So otherwise we can sort it, we can filter it the other way as well. We can group them in columns like first name. I want only first name, and then last name and email maybe. So let's check from which table, from customer. So I will get only these columns. So that's how we can filter data. Now we can merge it. We can merge the data by, you can see, using concat method. So what I will do, I want last name and first name. I'm giving it a name and using alias full name. So I will be getting the first name and last name in one column, one single column. So let's check. Okay. So the output is one column with first name and last name. So now there is no space. For that, we'll have to specify space here. That should give us the space. Now this way we can merge data, and then also the same data we can sort it by order by clause. So order by last name. Let's use last name. Okay. So the output is having the data is sorted according to the last name from A to Z. Now if I specifically, by default it is ascending order, and if I want it in a descending order, I will use the keyword DESC, so that it will start from Y. So that's how we can merge data and sort it. After that, there is one more way what we can do. Let's fetch data from customer where. Let's check the table first. So what I want to do here, I want to have a record with store ID 1 which has a last name something. So we are giving two conditions. What we will do for where store ID is 1, and we'll use logical operator and last name which is maybe Smith. Okay, as this is a string, we'll have to put it in a double quote or single. Okay, now here in this case what will happen, there both conditions should satisfy to get the result. So let's see. Okay, so it has a store ID 1 and then last name Smith. So there is only one record found for that conditions. So that's how we can use logical operators as well. Now consider if there is a now from actor table. Let's check actor table. What I want to show here. Okay. So what I want to do now here, to filter the data according to the last name which will have the string, the combination of some letters, some kind of letters. So how we can put it? So select all that data from actor where last name will contain letters GEN. So that means the last name ending with GEN. So let's see if we get any output for that. Yes. So there is one record. The last name is ending with GEN. We can try other way. So we can search for the last name starting with GN. So there is none. Also there is other case, like anywhere. You can get those letters anywhere in the last name. So let's check it. Okay, there are 4 of them. The one with the ending and one in the middle. So that's how we can filter the data. Now, as we know about you know about joins. We use join clause to combine rows from 2 or more tables. So what we will do, we will assume staff and address maybe and a staff table. So let's check what it holds. Staff table. Okay, we found 2 records. And then for address table, so here we have address ID, address and all other related information. And in staff table we have staff ID, first name, last name, address ID, picture, email. Okay, so here address is working as a foreign key. So that is the connection of both tables. So what we will do here, what I want staff ID. I want to create I want data for staff ID, first name, last name, and address for those related names, for those related IDs. So what we can do here, while we use joins to connect those both tables, how we can use it? Let's see. I want staff ID. Then I want first name, then I want last name, staff table, and then I need address from address table. So from staff, then there are 4 types of joins we use inner join, outer join, then left join and right join. So here I am going to use inner join. Inner join address table. Address table. On what condition? There is a common column. What we have here is address ID. So this address ID is from staff table, which should be equal to address ID from address table. So what we will do, we will name them staff A, then address as a B, and then we will specify them here. A dot staff, that means staff ID is from staff table. This is from staff table. This is as well from staff table, and this is from B. That means address table. So we'll use the next one. Here same thing. Staff table, address ID from staff table, and address ID from address table. So I should get 4 columns with information. Yes. So these are all 4 columns has the information which is fulfilling this condition. Now what I want to do here. Now this is a case with very small table. There are situations when we write long queries. So I don't want to write it multiple times, so I will save it. So how can we save the data we have created as a new table? So we can do it by create, or if it is present, just replace a view. We can store this result in the view, and we'll name that view as a staff information. Staff info. And this is a syntax for view. I want to save this result in the view name staff info. So let's see. Okay, it is done. We can check here in the views. Yes, staff information. Yeah, so it is created. So we don't have to write it over and over. So now let's move forward to the next topic, that is transaction. You are aware about the transactions. What we do there, we execute group of queries together in transactions. So there is, before that, let me just comment it out with multi-line comment. / and asterisk sign, / asterisk sign and /. So in transaction, when we start transactions, this is the syntax for transactions. So what happens there? If the chain of events succeed, we have to commit. That means we have to make those changes permanent. So we have some set of queries and we have to execute. But at some point of time, that generally happens in the bank scenario, where we have to withdraw some amount. So let's think that it will check our account, it will check the amount what we have, whatever the conditions the amount we are entering. If that satisfies, if the amount is in limit what we have there, then it will be deducted. If not, we'll get the error message. So all that transaction, there are multiple queries there are too many queries are involved in all this process. So we use that as a transaction. And if at some point, if that doesn't satisfy, we roll back those statements. That means cancel all the changes whatever we have done there. Like if the system has deducted some amount from the available amount and it encounters some error, it will roll back the other transaction. It will cancel out the previous transactions. So that's how it works. So what happens here? Generally, all queries we use are committed by default. So we have to set auto commit off. So nothing will be, what happens here? Nothing will commit unless and until it encounters the commit statement. We'll see the examples after later for transactions. What I'm going to do, we'll see about databases, creation of database. Now let's move forward to the database. There I will use the transactions. So one time we can check those examples. You have learned about if you go through the lessons, the pre-recorded lessons, you know about the database creation, then table creation. So what we will do, we'll create one database. So for that purpose, I was thinking an example. I was working on a project that a spot salon. I was that was my project for front end course. So let me show you that. So what I wanted to do here actually, if we relocate to the other place or new place, and sometimes people need the salon services in that area and because they are new there, they cannot find it. So generally people search it online. So that's where I found I could design something to give that platform for customers to search and get the information. So what kind of information we generally look is, we want the names, where it is located, that is address, their contact numbers, what kind of services they are providing. So all that kind of information generally customers search for. So in that scenario, and at the same time, if there are new businesses, they want to list them out on this system. So that is also a good platform for registered businesses as well. So that's how in that scenario I was thinking to have, okay, so what kind of information? So let's look into that. What kind of information we look into? The customer will look for the business name, address, contact. What kind of users that system is going to have? Business owner, and of course customers, and there should be admin to control the system, and especially for authentication of the businesses. Like nobody can just come and do register their businesses as it is. So there should be somebody to maintain that system. Then so that goes into kind of a role table. Then if business has to register, we'll have to create one table for business profile that will have this information. Then we will have to create one table which will hold the services that business is offering. So let's see what we can do. Let's first create the database. So I have created this model. I will explain it. So here what I am doing, this is the syntax while creating the database. So create database, if not exist, spot salon. So that prevents from the duplication of the same name or same database. Of course, we'll have to specify the character set here, which I am using is UTF-8 So what is character set? Is a character set support lots of letters, symbols, and language. So whatever we are going to use, that we have to specify here. So character set is this, which is, and it is collated with UTF-8 for Unicode C. So collation is always related to the character set which we have selected. That gives generally collation has rules for the strings and characters, whatever we use in the character set. That's why we have to use it. And after that, once we create the database, let's create it first. Okay, so it is created here, it is showing. Let's check here. It is here. So now database will contain different tables. So now we have to enter create tables in that specific database in a spot salon. So what we will do, as it is created, we will use this database, and now it's time to create tables. So there are 4 tables. As you can see here, the role table holding role ID and roles. Here role ID is a unique ID. Then the next table I have is salon profile, which will hold the information for that specific business. So what we can, with name, email, password, of course they are registering their business, so they need password, then phone, and then for their unique identity we are giving here a spot ID, which is a int type. This is the syntax while this is all a syntax while declaring the table. So create table, same thing, if not exists, this table name. After that, the variable name, the type of variable, that is integer data type. Then we are giving the constraints on that. It is auto increment, should not be null, and then it is a primary key. Primary key is a combination of unique and not null. Then the name, let's copy this structure. We can check it. Okay. Then name, which is a varchar data type, that is a string. Because it's a string, we don't know what will be the limit of their name. So I have specified this limit here, which should not be null, because of course customer will be interested knowing the name. So then email ID, all that, password, phone, and role ID. So what is happening here? Role ID is a foreign key. While registering, what I want them to choose the role, whether they are registering themselves as an admin or business as a business. So till then, if we are providing them role which is given here, I haven't copied the role table, that should be on top of the that should be declared before salon profile, because I am using this role ID as a foreign key. in the next table here. So this is a foreign key referencing the table roles column role ID. And as we are having it here, we need to declare that column here. So that's how we specify foreign keys. In the next table, so this is roles, this is salon profile. The next is contact of the salon. Here I am having a separate table for the contact information. So what we are going to do, so as you look through the table definition, table syntax, you can see create table if not exist, this table name with all columns with data type and constraints. We have to specify the storage engine at the end of the table, because that storage engine handles SQL operation for different type of tables. That's why we have to specify storage engine. So it's a default storage engine, and then with that we have to set this character set and the collation, so that this will be the default character set and collation. So that's how we define the table, that's how we create tables. Here what is happening now, in the contact table I am having city name, city, state, country, address. All these are strings, that's why I am using a varchar character with not null constraint, because I want them to enter something there. Then address can be multiple lines, that's why the text data type, and then opening time with time data type and closing time with time data type. Here, as the contact information is separate from the profile, their business profile, there should be something to connect those tables. That's why we are using this unique ID here as a foreign key, spot ID, referencing salon profile table with spot ID column. So as I have explained, if we are having it there, we must have that column space defined there. So this is the third table, and I have one last table which will be holding the services which they are providing. Same thing again. Different type of services. There is foreign key, spot ID, because there is some connection, there should be some connection with the profile, the business profile, and these services. So this is also connected to the salon profile. Here I am using this data type enum with values yes or no. We have to specify whether they are having that service or not. That's it. So this is also a new data type, like a different data type. So let's see. That's how I have defined all tables. Okay. Here with the role table, it is a primary key, and then it's int type, data type, that will hold the numbers, and role is a string that should not be null and should be unique. So let's see if it is created. I hope. Okay. Okay, so it is created now. Let's check here. Yes. So spot salon, tables, roles, salon contact, profile, and services. It has these columns. Then this one has all these columns. So let's check it. Now what we have to do after creating database and tables in it with the related columns, the information what we want to enter, let's enter information in it. So what I'm going to do, as it is created, we don't need this. We are going to use the same database. Now let's enter some information here. For that, so basically we are so let's insert into, let's see, so yeah, now here we can use the transaction. You can see we will be doing start transactions. That is the syntax of doing it. Then set auto commit equals to 0. And then after that we will be inserting the data in it. What we'll do, we'll insert some data into the role table. So insert into role table where we have these columns, role ID and role, with values 1, and as this is integer and this is character is specifying in the single quote admin, that is a role, and I am using this, I'm entering different data like 2 rows in just like that. So this is the role ID and this is the role, and here insert no. If it exists there, it will ignore it. So let's see. After that, not just that, once it is done, that as we have set it 0, we have to commit it, otherwise it will not show up here. So let's check it. Now you can see here I'm entering 2 rows together at the same time. Okay, the role table, we can check it, use, check star from role table. Let's see. Yes, so that's this information I have entered here. So I want to insert information into other tables as well. So like profile. So I have created that one. Yes, I'm done with this. So what I'm doing here, insert into salon profile, name, email ID, those are the columns we have here. In the profile, you can check spot ID, which is auto increment. So we don't need to specify it here, neither we have to specify it, enter it here. So let's start with name, email ID, password, phone number, and role ID with values. This is the name of that business. This is the email ID, as that is a string. That was a type of varchar. That one is in the single quote. This is a number. Password and phone number, we have to follow the sequence of the column. We cannot miss something while doing that. And this is a role ID. We have only 1 and 2 that roles. So I am using second as this is a business. And in next line, the same thing, name, email ID, password, number, and role ID. So let's see. Once we execute that one. Okay. So this is good. Now we can check. Let's come here and check. File. Yes, we have this data here entered. Now there is other thing as well. What we can do here, yes, there are other operations we can do on the tables. Like we can alter the table name, then we can enter new table, we can enter new column to the existing table, we can change data type of the existing column, then we can rename, so we can rename that column. So that's how we can modify these tables. So let me go here. So here I am altering the table salon profile and renaming the column name to the business name. The column, the name is a name. Okay. The column name is a name. So I am changing this name with a business name. So okay, so let's check this table again. Okay, the name has changed for that column. Now what I want to do here, there are other operations we can perform. I want to alter the table and add some, what kind of information? Okay, we can add something, or let's drop a column. We'll delete one column. Maybe let's delete phone number. So for that, what we have to do, alter table name, and then we use the command drop. Which column we are dropping is phone. So let's see and check it here. But before that, let's go there. And now I will not have this column again. Okay, so that's how various operations we can perform on the table. Yes, and that's how once we create a table in a database, we can perform all whatever we have learned so far up to now. Till now, we can perform these filtering queries, then merging, and then everything we can perform on these tables. So I hope I have covered most of the topics, and yes, so that is it for this lesson. I tried to cover as much as I can, and if anything, please let me know. If you have any doubts, I will try to look into that. Is there any question? Okay then. So that's it for today, and thank you so much. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you.
Good weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.